Hello, welcome. I am Anika Spencer, and today we're going to be moving through a spinal mobility, specifically twisty mobility yoga flow. As we move through spinal mobility, one of the things I want to bring your attention to today is the concept of thoracic mobility, this area around the rib cage, this aspect of the spine. A lot of times where we feel restriction in the spine is a limited range of motion in this particular area. However, since this area is limited, what often happens for us is we start to compensate by moving the mobile areas above or below rather than rotating through the thoracic spine. So that looks like turning with the neck or turning with the lower back rather than rotating through the entirety of the spine. We'll do a few exercises that are meant to increase the range of motion through this thoracic area, and this can have a lot of benefits for the shoulders. It also can start to release that pattern of needing to overcompensate in other areas, which actually can help preserve the health of the area of the neck, the cervical spine, or the lower back, the lumbar spine. Great. To get started, go ahead and place your feet about hip width distance apart. Create a small bend to the knees if that's helpful. Close the eyes and really even out the weight of your feet. Pressing into the inside of the foot, the big toe mound, and the inner heel. Pressing into the pinky side of the foot, that pinky toe side of the mound, and the outer heel. And as you press into the floor, start to tone the thighs, but also imagine isometrically widening the inner legs. And that might feel like a small external rotation, but keep gluing into the inside of the foot. That's especially helpful for those of us whose knees tend to knock inward. Encourage the outer hips to turn on. Draw the abdomen in and on. Relax the tops of the shoulders. Lengthen out through the neck as you stretch the tops of the ears up. Take a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. And send it out your mouth. Inhale all the way to full through the nose. And out the mouth. Inhale in steady and slow, still feeling the feet. And audibly out your mouth. Then seal your lips. Relax your jaw and turn on your ujjayi, that steady audible breath in and out through your nose. Creating a small drag from the area of the throat. Then arms splaying wide, invite in some twists, letting the hands fly from side to side. And as you rotate, try to keep those ears stacked over the shoulders rather than letting the chin whip from side to side. We'll just keep it in alignment. And you might start to imagine that there's two flashlights on the front of your hip bones and they're pointing straight ahead. We're just rotating the upper back. And then also imagining that there's a flashlight right at the center of your chest, your sternum, and that's what's turning side to side. Keep breathing steady and slow. Good. Let those reverberations happen in the body as you come right back through center. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, take hold of your left wrist and stretch up and over towards that right side of your mat. On your inhale, come back through center. Take hold of your right wrist and stretch up and over towards the left side of your mat. Come back through center in breath. As you exhale, relax your hands down by your sides. On your inhale, circle the arms up, interlace the fingers, and press the heels of the palms up and towards the ceiling. Bend the knees just a little and explore the spine. As you inhale, arch the spine. You can look up, tail tips back. Exhale, abdomen strong as you round the spine, looking in and towards the abdomen. Inhale as you arch. Staying sturdy in the core as you round. Inhale as you arch. Exhale as you round. Inhale, come back through center. And relax your hands down by your sides. And as you inhale, stretch your hands up. As you exhale, bend your elbows down to the height of the shoulders. Rotate your palms now to look straight to the floor, and this time we'll get extra specific. Tone the core so much that now the flashlight lives right at your belly button, and that's gonna stay pointing straight ahead. And sternum is turning, but for this variation, we'll keep the gaze straight ahead. It's really common to look with the head. Instead, your eyesight's gonna be a flashlight looking straight ahead. So as you inhale, drive the right shoulder behind, gaze is forward, belly button's forward. As you exhale, drive the left shoulder back. Inhale, just rotating the thoracic. Exhale, drive the left. Inhale, right elbow drives back. Exhale, left elbow drives back. Couple more. Inhale, drive with the right. Exhale, drive with the left. Inhale, drive with the right. Exhale, drive with the left. Back through center, inhale. Take hold of your left wrist in your right hand and draw it up and over, side body length. Inhale, come back up. Switch the grip, reach up and over to the opposite side. Inhale, come back through center. Relax your hands down by the sides of your hips. Inhale, circle the arms up, press the heels of the palms up towards the ceiling, small bend to the knees. On your inhale, arch the spine, you can look up. Exhale, round the spine, look in and curl. Inhale as you arch, you might feel this in the ribs, keep the core on. As you exhale, round. Once more, inhale as you arch. Exhale, round. Free the arms, circle them up in breath. Exhale, bow forward to your legs, forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift, extend. As you exhale, plant your palms down and shift it back and into plank. Set your knees down and towards the earth, ground down into your left palm. Take your right hand and place it behind the head. Think of strengthening your neck by pressing the back of your hand into your skull. Imagine your belly buttons pointing straight to the floor. On your inhale, rotate just the sternum to look to the right. As you exhale, look towards the mat. As you inhale, neck's gonna stay in line with this twist of the chest. Then look back down and towards the mat. Inhale, look over and towards the right. As you exhale, lower it down. Release your right hand down to the floor. Curl your toes under and elevate the hips back up to high for downward facing dog. Walk your hands a little closer towards the thighs. You can keep the knees bending if that's helpful. You're welcome to stay in down dog or press firmly into your right hand and move your left hand over to the outside of your right thigh. Keeping the shoulders sturdy, start to look underneath your right shoulder. Lower abdomen still drawing back and in. Press into all 5 fingers of that right palm. Release the hand down towards the earth. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Move forward to the top of your mat. On your inhale, halfway lift, extend the spine. Exhale, bow back into fold, forward fold. Press into your feet, circle the arms all the way up to tall. As you exhale, guide your hands into your heart. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, bow forward and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, extend the spine. Exhale, plant your palms down, shift back and into plank. Set both knees down and towards the earth, ground down into your right hand. And as you press into the right hand, feel the tendency of the shoulder blades to recede onto the back. And instead, you'll keep widening the shoulder blades apart and widening them away from the ears. Practice that with just one hand on the floor. Place the left hand behind your head. Then anchor, the back of the head's gonna press into the hand, strengthening the muscles of the neck. And we'll keep the gaze aligned with where the sternum, the chest, is looking. On your inhale, turn the chest to look to the left, but keep your belly button looking to the floor. As you exhale, look back down and towards the earth. On your inhale, look over and towards the left. As you exhale, look back down towards the earth. Inhale, look left with your heart. As you exhale, release the hand down and towards the mat. Curl your toes under, elevate the hips back up to high for downward facing dog. Walk the hands a little closer towards your thighs. Keep pressing into the floor with your left hand. Then walk your right hand over to the outside of that outer leg. No, that left shoulder might start to sag up and towards the hips. Instead, we're going to lengthen the outer armpit out, but keep that small external rotation, like you're trying to turn the crease of the elbow to look more towards the fingers, while you continue to press into the inside and the outside of the hand. Release the hand down towards the floor. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and make that journey forward to the top of your mat. On your inhale, find your halfway lift. Extend the spine. As you exhale, bow back into fold. Press into the feet, circle the arms all the way up to tall. We'll stretch up. Then guide your hands inwards and towards your heart. Gorgeous. Rooting into your right foot, take your left foot and step it back into the side. Then rotate both toes to look towards the side. Option to use something to lift the hands. That might be a block or a book or a weight if that's what's handy. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, small bend to the knees, bow forward to the thighs. This might be where you have those blocks underneath your hands. Position the outer edges of your hips right over the heels or ankles. Anchor into both sides of both feet. Turn on the tops of the quadriceps. Feels like it's lifting the knees. But mindful of pressing into the back of the knees or locking out. We'll keep a small bend. We can still engage the tops of the thighs. Might be a great time to kind of shake out the neck, letting the top of the head fall towards the floor. On your inhale, find your halfway lift. As you exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Rise all the way up to tall, coming all the way up to the top of the stance. Then come forward into the top of the mat, Tadasana again. Toes step to kiss this time. Hips drop back, arms stretch up in breath. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs, forward fold. On your inhale, extend the spine. As you exhale, plant your palms and shift it back and into plank. Option to take a chaturanga. That might mean lowering to the belly or setting the knees down. Elbows come just in towards the ribs. Then press into the floor. Stretch your chest forward for upward facing dog or cobra. Elevate your hips back up to high for downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, bring your right foot forward and through between your hands. Press into your right foot. Stretch out for crescent, rising tall through the spine. Then take your left arm and wrap it right underneath your right. Relax and broaden through the top of the shoulders. Then work through that thoracic area. So knit the abdomen in. Keep holding in the very bottom of the ribs. And feel like you're working chest mobility into that upper back space, the space around the ribs. Inhale, forearms rise. As you exhale, elbows draw in. We can just round through the upper back. Inhale, forearms rise. This might test your balance. That's great. Exhale, elbows come in. Inhale, forearms rise. Exhale, elbows come in. Free the arms. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, release the hands down and towards the mat. Shift it back to plank. Take that slow journey. We'll keep the chest above the elbows or at that height. Then upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, hips go back to high. On your inhale, lift your left leg. As you exhale, bring the left foot forward and through between your hands. Press into the earth, rise all the way up for your crescent. And then once you're in crescent, bind that hand right underneath the left. Right arm binds right underneath the left. Abdomen in, bottom of the ribs stay knitting in. As you inhale, lift the forearms up. As you exhale, draw the elbows in, just the upper back's moving. Inhale, forearms rise. Exhale, elbows come in. Inhale, forearms rise. Exhale, elbows in. Arms circle up in breath. As you exhale, release your hands down towards the mat. Shift it back and into your plank. Lower through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog, broad shoulder tops. Downward facing dog. Hips go back up to high. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Take that journey forward to the top of your mat. On your inhale, extend, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back into your legs. Toes touching, hips drop back, arms stretch forward or up. Then stand to tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Anchor into your opposite left foot and step your right foot all the way back. We're opening up to the side. Once again, you'll probably want your blocks or you might want your blocks. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, hinge forward there to the legs. Find that block, or you can keep a hand on the floor, starting by placing the left hand on a block. Make a fist with your right hand and ignite the abdomen. Belly button's gonna stay looking down. Gaze can stay looking down. On your inhale, take that right fist and drive it up so we're moving the sternum to look to the right. As you exhale, lower it back down. Switch it out. Place that right hand on the block. Drive the left fist up and towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower the hand down. On your inhale, lift the hand up. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, lift the left hand up. Then take it down. You can stay with this pace, or you might start to work a little more quickly, using a little bit of momentum as you drive the hand up. Almost like you're one of those machines or little tools where the balls run into each other and knock the other one up. And you can use some of that momentum to actually channel flexibility. We're not trying to move so rapidly that we create strain. But we do want to test that range of motion. You have 2 more. Last one. And release. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands to the hips. Inhale, press into the floor as you rise. As you exhale, step back to the top of your mat. Toes come to kiss one another, hips drop low, arms stretch up, inhale. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, extended spine. Exhale, plant your palms and shift it back and into plank. Lowering halfway or all the way, upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, hips go back to high. You might enjoy placing a block or a little lift at the top of your mat. On your inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, bring that right foot forward and through between your hands. Inhale, stretch to tall for your crescent lunge. Then as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart and lift up that back thigh. Hip bones are looking straight to the floor, so is the belly button. Then take your left hand and place a block right underneath it, or lower your left hand all the way to the floor, balancing on the fingertips or the palm. Right hand now drives up towards the ceiling, and we'll start by making the fist and turning the sternum to the right. Then you might add on by looking up towards the side with the chin or towards the ceiling, or even letting that lower back twist some, but hips are still our anchor of stability. They're unmoving. Anchor into your right foot. Draw your back left knee in and towards the chest. Catch the left knee lightly in your right hand. Then reach your left hand behind you. Start with gaze and belly button looking straight ahead. Then once the upper back is moving, you might invite the chin to twist or the lower back to help out. We're not trying to eliminate the movement in these spaces. We're rather thinking of supporting it by distributing it across the whole spine instead of one or a couple areas that are asked to do the whole thing. Good. Now test it out. We'll move. Take the left hand to the floor. Take the right hand up. Left heel reaches back. As you exhale, bring that left knee in towards the chest. Reach the left hand behind. Nice. Left hand comes to the floor. You're probably working that standing leg. Right hand lifts up. As you exhale, bring the right knee in, left knee in and towards the chest. Reach the left hand back. Last one. Left hand comes to the floor or block. Right hand stretches up. Left knee comes towards the chest. Left hand reaches behind. Oh, good. Sit it low. Toes kiss. Arms stretch up. Chair pose. As you exhale, bring your hands into your heart. Broaden the tops of your shoulders, abdomen draws in for support. Then using that mobility of the spine, apply a little leverage. Hook that left elbow over the outer right knee. Lengthen out through the top of your head. Hips are squaring still, then we'll rotate a little more deeply. Channel the power of your breath. And if you feel like you really want to focus on that upper back space still, you can look straight to the floor, be a little looser with the twist, and just move this section of the chest, the sternum. Release that. Stand tall, Tadasana mountain pose. It might feel nice to shake out that right foot. Take a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. And free it out your mouth. Toes touching, hips low, arms up. As you exhale, bow forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, slide your shoulder blade tips down the back. As you exhale, plant your palms, shift back and into plank. Slow chaturanga is available. You can also skip these, going straight to downward facing dog, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift the left leg up. As you exhale, bring the left foot between your hands. Crescent lunge. Inhale, stretch to tall. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart and float up that back leg. Feel the back inner thigh lifting itself. Hip bones are squaring, abdomen's in. Then lower your right hand to the floor or to the block or whatever tool you're working with. To start, make a fist, drive the hand up, and we're just turning the sternum. Then, if it seems applicable, you can start to open up the rest of the spine. We're turning the less mobile space first, learning how to turn that activation on. Yeah, then bring the back knee in and towards the chest, standing up on that left leg. Catch lightly, so we're not rounding forward into the knee. We're still stretching up to tall, even if that means we're barely touching that front leg. Opposite hand reaches behind. Once again, you can turn the chest first. And if you want to invite the neck to move, might test your balance, or the lower spine to move, that can be a part of this. Good. Switch it out. Take the right hand to the floor. Take the right heel back. Lift up with your left hand. Good. Bring that right knee in towards the chest. Stand up tall as you twist. Right hand comes to the earth. Right heel reaches back. Left hand stretches up as you twist. As you exhale, right knee comes in. My left leg is my wobbly. Last one. Right hand comes down, left hand comes up. Exhale, knee comes in towards the chest. Opposite hand stretches back. Take both feet to the floor. Big toe mounds kiss. Space for the heels, hips low, chair. Hands to the heart, broad shoulder tops. Hook that right elbow on the outside of the left knee and twist. Notice the hips sometimes like to swivel, outer hip coming to the side. You're gonna hold them back in, level with each other. Sometimes feels like lengthening out that left side of the waist. You don't always have to be in a maximum twist. Sometimes maximum or exploration feels nice. That said, sometimes it's nice just to find a way to do it different or to focus on just one element, one space. Take your last breath. Then stand to tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Bring your toes to kiss. Draw the backs of the thighs back and stretch your arms up. Bring your hands to the heart again and find your twist. Left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. You might be happy to stay here, that's great. Another opportunity could be to come down and towards the earth, bringing your hips closer towards the heels, taking a toe standing variation. Or place the hands at the side of your mat and rotate your elbows to look towards the outer hip and the outer knee. Tip your weight forward, the left outer elbow onto the outer thigh. And to start, you might place that right elbow over and on the outer hip. Then tip your, maybe you lift the feet. Eventually, we'll also lift the right hip up. Find that steady breathing. Keep pressing into the finger pads of the hands. Then gracefully, perhaps, set the toes back down and towards the earth. Find your way out, forward fold. Relaxing the neck, bending the knees. Even taking hold of outer elbows. Filling up the lower back as you stabilize the breath. Release the hands to the floor. Bring the big toes to kiss. Draw your hips low and stretch the arms up, chair pose. Hands to the heart, right elbow hooks on the outside of that knee. You can stay here or lower the hips closer towards the floor. You might stay here in a toe standing variation, or take your hands wide to the side and investigate that side crow. Some of that action, sometimes what we see is the elbows start to spin out and then they almost move out of the way and we fall towards the floor. A crucial ingredient here is to rotate the elbows to look back, even as we press into the floor with all 10 fingers. As you bend the elbows, we'll aim for about 90 degrees. We're not trying to bring the chest closer to the floor. As a matter of fact, we actually want to find a balance point where we can feel those fronts of the shoulders lining up with the height of the elbows. Eventually, you might lift that outer right hip up. Slowly make your way out, coming back out of your arm balance. Then bow forward to your legs, forward fold. Great time to pedal the heels, pressing one heel to the mat at a time as you straighten out the opposite leg. Or even swaying side to side. You can even interlace the fingers on the back of the head, stretching through those muscles right in between the shoulder blades. Running up through the back of the neck. Release the hands down to the earth. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, bow back into fold. Circle the arms up, stretch all the way to tall as you connect those hands. Then guide your hands down and into the heart. Take a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. On your inhale, circle the arms up. As you exhale, bow forward, forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, shift back and into your plank. Set the knees down and towards the earth. Widen out those knees just a little. Keep pressing into your right hand. Then hip points still look towards the earth. Try the same thing we began with. Inhale, look to the right. Exhale, look back down. Inhale, look right with a long, sturdy neck. Then look back down. Might be feeling the core here. Inhale, look to the right. Then release that hand down. Elevate the hips back up to top. On your inhale, lift with your right leg. As you exhale, bring your right foot over to the outside of the hands. You can stay here, runner's lunge, or set that left knee all the way down towards the earth. For some of us, this is already a pretty bold stretch through the front of the hip. To add on, plant your left hand to the floor or place it on top of a block. And bend your back left knee. Reach your right hand all the way around. We'll grip the pinky side of the foot if that's available, turning this into a quad stretch. This might be about the twist, and if you enjoy, you can set the elbow down and onto the block or down and onto the floor. There's still time here, so sink into the breath. Noticing your physical body and any sensations that are here. If the mind wandered, that's totally normal. But you're encouraged to come back to the practice of staying with what's here. Release the hands down and towards the earth. Fire up that back leg. Then shift back into your plank position and lower the knees to the floor. Take your left hand to the back of the skull, small bend to the elbows, still moving that right shoulder off the back towards the ribs. Hip bones stay pointing straight ahead. Inhale, turn just your chest to the left. Exhale, look back to the earth. Inhale, chest looks to the left. And back to the earth. Chest looks left. Inhale. And release that hand down and towards the earth. Elevate the hips back up to high down dog. Inhale, lift with your left leg. Exhale, bring the left foot forward to the outside of the hands. You can keep that back thigh firing, runner's lunge classic. Or you can set the knee down towards the earth, and we'll emphasize that length coming into the front of the back hip. Different option, bend your back knee and circle that left hand around to hold the foot. You have those same variations that were available to you on the opposite side. I love a blanket or a rolled mat underneath the back knee for support. Whatever you find here, acknowledge what's present. And if what's present is something that becomes unbearable or so uncomfortable that you find you cannot help but attempt to distract or check out, then dial it back. Find something that has a hint of pleasure. Position yourself in a way that you can be here with it. Be here with you. This yoga is just a practice. Finding ways to stabilize that are easy or easy enough. Learning what's possible. Releasing what's not. And going from there. Release the foot. Fire up the back leg. And shift it back to plank. Soften the knees to the floor. Sink your hips back in towards your heels for child's pose. Sit back up and onto your heels and circle the legs forward and around. Find your block or your tool and place it, if it's a block, long ways behind the back. We just want the head off and that back space of the heart, the ribs, on the block. And we're going long ways, like we're making a plus sign with the space of the spine. You can also use a roller here. That's a great choice. Take your hands, weave them together behind your head, then reposition your head. Most of us, when we weave the hands together, we start to pull the face forward. Instead, we're going to move back and back until the neck's at neutral. Chin might feel like it's drawing slightly in, and the jaw can now relax. Then notice if setting your head back puffs your ribs forward, and you'll tone the core and hold the bottom of the ribs in. And as you inhale, open up across just the ribs, still focusing on the thoracic spine. As you exhale, come just up to neutral, so we're not going to curl. This area of the spine tends to be more rounded in most bodies. As you inhale, peel it open, but keep the bottom of the ribs in. Sometimes that bottom space likes to puff forward. As you exhale, come just to neutral. Inhale, open up the ribs. Exhale, lift the head up. Open up the ribs. Then lift your head up. A couple more. Inhale. Then lift up. Inhale. Then lift up. Great. Release your hands down. Move that block out of the way. Then come all the way down and onto your back. Bend your knees, and you can hold the knees wide and rock gently side to side. Another option might be happy baby, bend the feet. Straighten out the legs, side to side. That's great. These movements don't have to be dramatic. And then let that go. Take both feet out to long. And if that situation of the blocks is available to you, this might be a time when you take a mild back bend. And that back bend could use a roller, or you might set up the blocks with a little bit of support, one for the back of the head, one for right behind the heart. I really like medium height on my first block and highest height on the back block. The trick is we want a differentiation between these two blocks, and you might like lower or higher. A gentler variation of this is to take a towel or a blanket and place that behind this same space. And let the fronts of the shoulders fall back, gentle chest mobility. We'll utilize this position for our Shavasana, and if you'd rather opt out, then you're welcome. You're invited to make that choice for yourself. Close the eyes. Make that conscious decision to be present with yourself. Present with the body. Both the sensations you're creating right now with this position, and the sensations you may or may not have had a hand in this otherwise composition. Composition of the body exactly as it is. especially if that's a challenge for you. If the mind wanders in and out of body awareness, you're welcome to stay right here with the sensations of skin and tissue. Of organs, of breath. Or you might shift your attention now to include not just the body, but the entirety of who you are. Being here, not just with your form, this physical aspect, but being here with the mind, the personality, being here with your emotions, and you might even find that you make contact with the part of you that is not body, not mind, not personality, not emotion. You might call it the heart, the soul, consciousness, or perhaps true self. Being here with whatever that is. Then flip your palms down towards the earth. Shift to one elbow or the other and move whatever tools you've used out of the way. And come back onto your back. Bring your knees closer, give yourself a squeeze, rocking side to side. Then roll all the way onto one side. Press away from the earth and come all the way up and into a seat. Place your hands lightly at your heart. And bow inwards, forehead to fingertips. I bow to you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Great job. Thank you for joining me today. We would love to have you subscribe to our YouTube channel, so feel free to subscribe below, as well as reach out to us over email if you want to book a one-on-one consultation with one of our amazing team. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you next time. Stay safe.